Today we are going to talk about multiplying fractions by fractions. When we are multiplying fractions by fractions, we simply multiply across the numerators and multiply across the denominators before we then simplify to get our answer in lowest terms. So let's try. If I have 1/4 times 2/5, I'm going to rewrite that slightly bigger for myself. And all I do from here is multiply my numerators. 1/4 times 2/5 would get me 1 times 2, which is 2. And then I multiply my denominators. 4 times 5, which is 20. From there, I can go ahead and simplify my fraction. I can divide both of these by 2, getting me 2 divided by 2 is 1. 20 divided by 2 is 10. My answer in lowest terms is 1/10. All right. So all I need to do here is multiply across, multiply both numerators, multiply both denominators, and then simplify my answer to lowest terms. Let's try another one here. It says 1/2 of 3/4. So again, that of means to multiply. And we think about multiplication as 1/2 of 3/4. So if you think of 3/4 of a pizza, what is half of that? So let's go ahead and rewrite that. 1/2 times 3/4. Again, I go ahead and multiply across. 1 times 3 gets me 3. 2 times 4 is 8. I cannot divide both of those by the same thing. So my answer here, my product, my answer to a multiplication problem is 3/8. So again, thinking about that pizza, if I have 3/4 of a pizza and I eat half of that, I will be eating 3/8 of the pizza. All right, we've got 2 word problems to practice here. It says Johnny has a half jug of water. He uses 1/3 of that jug to water his plants. Okay, so again, we have 1/3 of 1/2. I have that half gallon or half jug, excuse me. So if I look at a picture of that, I've got this jug of water and I have half of it, right? And I only use 1/3 of it. I'm using just this little chunk right here of my jug. So I would go ahead and write this as a multiplication problem. 1 times 1 we know is 1. 3 times 2 is 6. And therefore, to water my plants, I use 1/6 gallon of water. All right, so let's go ahead and do the bottom problem. It says Jennifer has 5/6 of a pizza left. She eats 1/4 of that remaining pizza. Okay, so we eat 1/4 of the remaining, which is 5/6. I can rewrite that. 1/4 times 5/6. I multiply across my numerators. 1 times 5, which is 5. My denominators, 4 times 6, which is 24. Therefore, Jennifer eats 5/24 of the pizza. So to recap, when I am multiplying my fractions, I just set them up normally, multiply across, multiply my numerators, multiply my denominators, find my simplest form for my fraction, for my product, and that's all I got.